Hey guys, welcome to the arcade. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. So I've got a few things planned to talk about tonight, and I guess it's going to be a bit light gun heavy with the announcements that Arcade One Up have had over the last couple of days. But there are a few other bits and pieces that I wanted to go through as well. For example, you might be aware that Gamescom is going on at the moment, and in addition to the Time Crisis cabinet, which we will get to, there were two other cabinets kind of announced from Arcade One Up, one of which we kind of knew about. We talked about a couple of weeks ago, and that was the Atari 50th. So we'll dive straight in and we'll have a little look at the two cabinets that we'll get to. I kind of want to leave the Time Crisis one towards the end because I do have a lot to talk about in regards to that. So we'll jump on to these ones first, or get the smaller bits of news out of the way first. So, we did discuss it a couple of weeks ago, and here it is again. It's the Atari 50th. Now, still not 100% sure if this is going to be the only version of the Atari Legacy cabinet that we're going to see in the deluxe form. But this is certainly the first of them that has come out. So it is in this Atari 50 style that we talked about. This is like the same sort of artwork and logo that we saw with the Atari 50 collection that came out for the PlayStation and the Xbox. So it's $499, which is still sort of a decent price for the deluxe ones. The list of games. Sorry, I still have a wee bit of a tickly cough. I'll try to keep her going. So the list of games is actually really good here. So we do see Asteroid Centipede, Major Havoc, Missile Command, Akarara, Crystal Castles, Tempest, Millipede, Gravatar, Liberator, Asteroids Deluxe, Space Duel, Super Breakout, Lunar Lander. So those are the 14 games that are on the 14 arcade games that are going to appear on the cabinet. However, as we did say last time, there is 50 additional Atari 2600 games that are going to be on this cabinet as well. Now, whether or not you think there's value added to playing Atari 2600 games on on an arcade machine, I don't know. I think it's a nice to have. Chances are you're not going to be playing too many of those games. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a list of the 50 games that they're going to be including, which is a bit of an annoyance, because I would like to see if they're including anything fairly decent. Now, I know they have included, what was it, in television games that they appeared on the At Games, Legends Ultimate and Gamer Pro and what have you, and they weren't really well received until the point that they were actually removed. So whether or not this is value added is definitely personal preference. To me, I would need to see the 50 games that they're going to put on there. But if we have a couple of things like Pitfall or something like that, then yeah, I think we're going to get something decent out of it. I don't think it's going to be 50 absolute rubbish games. We may get a couple of duplicates, I guess, like the console version of, I don't know, Centipede or something like that. I would hope they would try to avoid it, but they are putting on 50 of them, so chances are we may see a couple of duplicates. The artwork and everything on this cabinet, I still like. I like the way that the deck looks. Let's see if I can get a better picture of the deck. I do think it looks really, really cool. I do like the side art and the marquee. I think going with that 50 motif, it works for me. I don't have any problems with the artwork. I know people have sort of slated it because it's not arcade accurate. It is a custom job. Now, Again, this may just be a variant. We may see an Asteroids skinned Atari cabinet come out later on. However, I think this is really cool, and it was one of the ones that got dropped there at Gamescom earlier on today. So I'm all for it. I don't have an Atari one, and I kind of wanted to pick up the Centipede cabinet last year, but the monitor issues put me off, and in the end, I never went with it. So a bit of a bummer. So I never really bothered with it. Tom, yes, Time Crisis at Last. Absolutely, yes, we're going to be talking about that a little bit later on. Just wanted to get past some of the smaller bits of news first, but definitely we will be concentrating on the Time Crisis announcements. So, moving on from the Atari, there was another cabinet that was announced or dropped, or however you want to say it, at Gamescom. Now, it's not technically a new cabinet, it's a reskinned cabinet. So here it is, it's Galaga Deluxe, and this is a reskinned variant of Pac-Man Deluxe. It's got the same games list that you would have on the Pac-Man one, but it is skinned for Galaga. And for the most parts, I really do like it. I think it's a lovely looking cabinet. I like the way that the artwork, it's not an exact waterfall, but it does sort of flow down below the deck. We still have that recessed and laid back monitor. The artwork on the side is fantastic looking. The only thing I'm not a fan of is this kind of kick plate at the bottom. I'm not feeling that one. However, I think the rest of the cabinet looks fantastic. Again, it's going to be $499, the same prices we'll see for the other deluxe cabinets. So when they come over here, we're probably looking at $599. If they ever make an appearance. I have tried to contact ones from Quirky and things like that in regards to stock, but unfortunately getting no response now, so don't really know what's happening. I'll keep my ear to the ground and keep checking on things to see if we're going to get any stock in. Very, they're completely gone as well. Argos, they're completely gone. Not entirely sure what's happening, but I will keep you up to date. If I find out something, I will let you know. So there's the Galaga cabinet. I think, again, looks very, very cool. It's just a variant of the sorry. It's just a variant of the deluxe cabinets, but I think having those options, like we saw a couple of years ago when we had Dig Dug and Joust, it's nice to offer those options to people. Certainly, I do like the artwork on the Pac-Man cabinet, but given a choice over Pac-Man or Galaga, Galaga's a hard one to beat, you know. I would definitely be swayed more to the Galaga cabinet if the two were sitting side by side and I had to make a choice. I think I would definitely be more inclined to pick up a Galaga one. Excuse me. Sorry. Ooh. And again, like I say, it is a variant, so all of the features that you're getting on the Pac-Man Deluxe, it's going to carry over. We still have the 17-inch BOE. It's still going to have the light-up coin door, the light-up marquee. It's still going to be Wi-Fi enabled. You're still going to be able to link in with the leaderboards from the other various cabinets running the same ROMs. It's just a different skin or different artwork on it, which I'm all for. I do really, really like it. Now, whether or not, or well, when we are going to get our hands on these deluxe cabinets over in the UK, I've no idea. The only one to show up with a deluxe cabinet was Very, and then they quite quickly took it down, and now all of their stuff is completely gone. So whether or not they're going to be getting more stuff in, whether other retailers are going to be getting deluxe cabinets in, I can't say for sure. I really do hope so, and that this stock issue is just a bit of a blip. Gunstar Hero, hey, how are you, buddy? Like I say, I will keep my ear to the ground, but at the moment, we have our reliable ones of Liberty Games, Smiths, and Game. So those are the three big retailers. You may get some stuff on Amazon as well. However, that seems to be they seem to be a bit of a later one. Yeah, very cancelled the class of '81 cabinet on Gunstar, which is an absolute shame because it's just. I really don't know what happened. Did they jump the gun? Were they supposed to get stock in and now it's all been cancelled on them? I've just no idea, but it's really poor that they haven't communicated as to what happened, because I'm sure you were not the only one in that situation. Deluxe will be soon given the game sales to 250 on old legacy cabinets. That's exactly what I wanted to have a look at next. So I did sort of mention in the sort of header, or the title of this, stealth sales. Now, games seem to be notorious for it, that they're putting stuff on sale without really making a big song and dance about it. And as Tom mentioned there, yes, we do have the older legacy ones, the ones from last year. They have dropped in price, so you can have a look at the Pac-Man or the Bandai one, Centipede, Mortal Kombat. They've all dropped to $250, and that's not the only ones that are dropping. Yoga Flame has dropped to $299. The XL version of Golden Tee is $399. What else do we have? Dragon's Lair, I believe, is also dropped. I think that has dropped maybe by 100 and something. I think that was usually $420. The Shaq edition is still a bit too pricey. Star Wars still up at $699, so it's not completely across the board. The NFL Blitz has gone down a little bit. Marvel vs. Capcom down a little bit. They really are trying to get rid of these fucking couch kids. They're bloody terrible. Just burn them. Just burn them. It's better for you. They're still crazy because they're trying to sell a stool for £85. That's not happening. But yes, like you said, there's nothing here to say that these cabinets are on sale or anything like that. However, the price has dropped, so if you are looking for one of the older cabinets, or something like NFL Blitz, and you didn't want to spend the full amount of money, have a little look at Game, because they seem to have a sale on at the moment. I have no idea why. What's this? Hang on. Star Wars without the t-shirt is $6.30. They just don't show it on the main page. Is that bloody true? Hang on. I'm going looking here. I've made a mistake. That's far too vague of a term, isn't it? Hang on. Let's have a look. Are we getting anything? No, that's the only one that seems to come up for me. Unless I can get into it this way. No. Strange one. Google it. I'll have to have we look at that. Yeah, if you can get it for $6.30 on their webpage, that would be pretty good as well. I think on Amazon it's still there for $5.80. Now they do have this, which is really annoying me. It's been annoying me for days, because they're selling the Arcade 1-Up t-shirt for $4.99, and whenever you try to click onto it, it just redirects you to the main game page. So they really don't want to sell that, do they? Okay, the final little thing that I wanted to mention before we go on to Time Crisis is you may have heard wind of a new Kickstarter coming from Polycade, and they've got a new design or a new form factor for their for one of their cabinets. Now it's difficult to find information about it, so they're calling it the Senate or Senti, or however you want to pronounce that. Now this is not the form factor that it's going to be. This is the Lux that they've been selling for a while. This is all I can find in regards to the Senti. There is absolutely nothing there on their website or on their Facebook page or anything like that regarding this upcoming Kickstarter. This is the only thing that I could find. Now I have signed up for it, so I'll hopefully be able to get some information when they do start sending it out. Now I think B-Dubs did share it on the Super Game Room Dubs, the price plan for this Senti when it does arrive on Kickstarter, that the official RRP price will be around 2,500, which, when you talk about Polycade, that's not half bad, since most of these machines retail for about 4 or 5 grand. It's insane. I think they've said that the first 25, like their really early bird ones, they'll get the cabinet for about $700, and then it'll be the next 50 is 800 or 850, and then there's another range for about 999, just a thousand. So even at that, you're still saving a fair bit of money. Now I don't know the specs or anything like that. I don't know what it's going to look like, which is, it's a bit annoying, because I'd love to be able to say, you know, sign up, get ready, because look at what you're getting. I don't know what you're getting is perfectly is the way to put it. But like I say, looking at the ones that the Retro 2, they've completely destroyed that. Bloody hell, get that big stupid thing off the top of it. But I mean, look at the price of these things. 5,000, 5,000, 6,000, 6,500. These things retail for quite a lot of money, and there is kind of a good reason for them. They are big, they are like quality made Sanwa buttons. There's a big gaming PC within them. It's a massive monitor as well, so you are getting quality stuff in it, but it's so expensive. I have been wanting to build my own using the Polycade software, and so I have been looking at mini PCs to put into it, but I haven't really got too far in it yet. So if I was able to pick one up for $700, I might be tempted. Now, depending on the form factor, because honestly, I'm not a great fan of the Lux. Squadcade is ugly as sin. The Retro, the original Retro, I really liked. This just, yeah. The original Retro I thought was lovely looking. This Retro 2, bloody hell, get that off the top of it. I'm sorry, that's just absolutely, that's a oh fuck. No, the spectator screen does not come as standard. That's an extra 500 quid if you want it. So maybe it's not as bad. Maybe because you're just getting this, but still, it's a fair whack of change. Sorry, just catching up on things. Alan, do games still not ship to NI? No, they do not. However, they use the same courier that Amazon used to deliver Star Wars to me. So they can, they just won't. So really, really annoying. So the only ones that I can really get stuff through is Smiths and Amazon, because Liberty don't ship over to, well, they will ship over to Northern Ireland, but it'll cost you an arm and a leg, and Game just flat out refuse. I used to use Quirky, but all of their stock for Arcade 1-Up and the like is completely gone, so I really don't. I'm losing ways of ordering stuff, which is probably a good thing if you ask my wife, because I am completely out of space here. But anyway, those are the little bits of news that I kind of wanted to go over before we get into the big announcement, the one that happened. Damn it! The one that happened yesterday that we all knew was coming, because it was just the worst kept secret in the world. Like the silhouette that Arcade 1-Up put up for their announcement was ridiculous. It left nothing to the imagination. We knew exactly what it was. It was going to be Time Crisis. So here it is, and we got our first look at the cabinet yesterday. This is a huge improvement to what we saw from that original prototype last year. It was absolutely terrible looking. This has been a fantastic improvement. I love the artwork on the side, the front panel. I think that's absolutely fantastic. The marquee is absolutely cracker looking, kind of like the way they did with the Ridge Racer one, where it sort of juts up. However, if you can see my cursor, so they were showing it off the last night. So this bit of the marquee here sort of lights up, so you can see the Time Crisis in the yellow. But this is also part of the vinyl as well, so the light actually illuminates this red section of it as well. I just think it looks absolutely fantastic. I'm really pleased with how it looks. I do kind of think they dropped the ball a little with the control deck. I mean, that's very, very plain and blah. There's nothing to it. I'm sure they could have done something to jazz it up a little bit, but it is what it is. So we do have two guns that are using Sinden technology. What that means, I'll get into that in a little bit. And we do have a pedal, one single pedal, because it only has Time Crisis, the original, which is a one-player game, so you don't really need a second pedal on it. The pedal does have an it's either steel or it's an aluminium sheet. Now it is sitting on top of a plastic pedal, so it's a plastic wedge, and then that sheet of metal sits on top, and then the whole plastic wedge sort of sinks down onto a micro switch. How well that plastic is going to hold up to you sort of stamping down on it, I don't really know. It's probably going to be okay for most. I mean, it doesn't have to do much. It's a single micro switch, so it's not like it's having to. It's not like it's one of the racing cabinets where it has to figure out how hard you're pressing, or how far down you've pushed the pedal. So it might do all right. And really, the reaction, or the most visceral reaction that you have playing that game, is releasing the pedal, because you release the pedal to duck down. So could be all right. I would need to have a little look at it, just to get a couple of taps, just to see how thin the plastic is. We'll take a little look at the games that they have on here. So our games list is Time Crisis, Point Blank, Steel Gunner, and Steel Gunner 2. I'm a little bit disappointed because the rumor was it was going to have both of the Point Blank games. Um, bit disappointed that either it was miscommunicated or they've removed one of the Point Blank games. I really think they could have included another one on here. So we only have 4 games. 3 of them are 2-player games or multiplayer games. Time Crisis is obviously just your one player. It's not using the exact arcade ROM. It's using a like a built-up one, the same way they did, kind of along the lines with Fast and the Furious. Namco have helped them out with it, but it's using the original code base. However, it's been built from the ground up. It's a custom ROM, a custom emulator. It's running on Android, so it's as they've said, it's the best emulation out there for it, which is probably true. It's probably going to work better than any of the System 32, no, System 22. Yep, System 22 emulators out there. I know I've had such a problem getting Ridge Racer working, which runs on the same sort of architecture, so it would use the same emulator. I think from seeing it run, it looks really, really good. I think people will get a really good experience out of the emulation, so I'm happy in that sense. Sorry, just checking the chats there. Using the gun recoil will be tiring, although can switch off. I'm not 100% sure on that, Tom. The reason being is it's not using the solenoid as the Sinden ones are working. The way they have it set up, I don't have a picture of the gun properly. So, the slide is here. So this whole top section will slide back, but it's triggered by the pulling of the trigger. So as you pull the trigger back, you get to a point of resistance. At that point, as you pull the trigger, it pulls the slide back on a spring and then kind of clicks up, and the spring shoots it forward. So it's not using the solenoids that we would see within the Sinden light guns. So I don't think there's actually a way of disabling that recoil. Plus, it can be. Sorry, it can be switched off. Sorry, Kong showed that it can be switched off. That's brilliant. Then, if it can be decoupled in some way, because I do think that the way they've got it set up, because of that resistance on the trigger, it's going to be tiring on the trigger finger, because you've got that resistance for playing games like for Point Blank. So there's a button on it. Okay, so it must be a way of bypassing that spring then. I do like that they've added that slide action to the recoil. I don't like that they've gotten rid of the solenoid. It seems cheap to me, and that's maybe why they've done it. So this is what I meant when I said they were using Sinden technology, that they're using the white border and the camera in the front, but the rest of it just isn't there. The solenoid, the haptic feedback has been replaced with this little, I don't want to say mechanical, it's not, it's running on a spring. I don't really know what kind of haptic feedback you're going to get. I mean, one second. So there's the Sinden It's a big, bulky gun. It's, I would say, a little bit bigger than the one they showed off with Arcade 1-Up. And now the Arcade 1-Up is kind of based on the gun con that was on the original cabinets. It's a bit bigger, I would say. However, I love the solenoid in there. I think now it doesn't slide. I think that's definitely something that would really improve these things. But I love that I'm just able to fire a few off, and of course, if I was playing something like Steel Gunner, I can just. It gives a bit more. It just gives a bit more enjoyment to playing the games. That's just that big. I was going to say big kick. It's not a big kick, but you can sort of see it that it. No, actually you can't. But I was going to say you can maybe see it in my hand but it is giving me a hell of a sort of a sensation in my hand as we, you know. Actually, you can see it if I'm holding it like that. Hang on, see if I can. So you can see on the barrel of the gun that it is sort of moving. It is giving me a bit of a recoil, and I do like that. And the gun, the Sinden gun is quality. I've just activated Alien 3. I've just realised I was playing with the thing, and it's I've just looked behind me and Alien 3's on. So yeah, like there's a good bit of weight to that gun. The plastic is thick, whereas I'm gonna say they're going to try and cut corners, and that's my big concern. Now they said that they've gone with this spring operated recoil so that there's not an electronic component that could fail. What's gonna fail first? A big bulky solenoid or a flimsy spring? I would need to see inside it. Now I know B is going to take one of the guns apart to have a look inside it, so I'll be really interested to see that video, because I really want them to. I really want to see inside and see what makes this thing tick. Obviously, I know that they've got the camera and everything like that, but I want to see that recoil, sort of see how they've hooked it up. Going back to it, so let me just bring that back up. So we do still have, you know, the 17-inch monitor. It is going to be Wi-Fi connected with leaderboards and all that good stuff. So I'm happy with that. I keep saying I'm happy with certain things. What I'm really, really not happy about is this price point. 750 quid. That is insane. That's more than the XL cabinets when they came out. And yes, before any of this was announced, I did say that Time Crisis was likely to be quite expensive because they were going to use Sinden guns, and a Sinden gun can be pricey enough. If you're talking like one with the recoil, I think it's 130 for one gun. So if you're adding two on, I would say if you bought it in bulk, you probably get a little bit discount. So call it 200. But they're not using Sinden guns. They're just using the technology behind it. They're not using the same recoil. They're not using the solenoid. They've gone a cheaper route. So there's no reason for that to be as high as it is. I mean, I think what Terminator was $699, or was it $599 when it came out? It's like everyone mocked Terminator for being so expensive, and I don't think they've learnt their lesson from this. I cannot see. honestly, I'll be really surprised if this goes up for pre-order from like Best Buy or wherever, and they start reporting that it's sold out. I obviously there are people out there where money isn't a problem, but that's pricing most of the consumers right out of it. A lot of people will have been waiting on this cabinet, and that is just far too high. I don't see how they're going to be able to justify that. Question is, have they seen the exchange is back to 1.27 and at least with price at 750? If similar to prior cabs, it may be it. Yeah, I think if and when it comes over here, between 850 and 900, I really don't think they care too much about the exchange rate. This just seems to be they're giving it over to retailers and adding on. There's no proper calculation to how the UK price is worked out. Every time we think we have it worked out, it's more. I really, if we were following the same trend as with previous cabinets, so 749, it should go up in the UK for 849. But every time I've tried to come out and say this is what the price should be, I get it wrong, because they always up it. Like the Star Wars one, they upped the hell out of that one. I can see them doing the same for this. I really think we're going to be looking at around 900 for one of the cabinets. And yes, like you say, at 850 you'd be talking over $1,000. We do really get shafted when it comes to the prices when it comes across the water, and it's really annoying me. I don't know what else to say. The pricing of this cabinet is just unreal. It's I think 19K Fox put out a quick video shortly after the announcement, just saying it was pure greed, and I think he's right. I think they could have got away with a much lower price point. They already had the Namco, or they already had a relationship with Namco. They may have to have purchased additional licenses to be able to use Time Crisis and Point Blank and things like that, but there is no way that those licenses would have cost more than Terminator. I really don't see it unless Namco, stuck the knife in and turned. And if they did, that's really impressive. I don't see it. I mean, Time Crisis, yep. Point Blank, yep. Steel Gunner 1 and 2. A lot of people haven't heard of them. Those two games, I mean. So I don't see the license being the cost. I don't see the guns being the cost, because they're cheaping out with them. The cabinet looks really nice and all the rest of it. I just don't think it's worth 750 quid. I think they need to drop that by at least, well I would say 550. 550 to 600 would be a decent price for this cabinet. And I think most people, at least that's my opinion, I think most people are going to wait until this comes down in price, until it goes on sale. Hang on a second. Oh. Liberty will sell it for 900 and say it's in a sale. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Ah, dear sick. Yeah. Knowing about it, 900, I think I think 800 game will have it week before Christmas on sale at 600. Yeah, depending on when we get it, it's possible the game or whoever could put it on sale. I would like, yeah, I think 600 would be a decent a decent price for it. Like I say, 600. It does look great. It really does. It's a lovely looking cabinet. Chances are that if it is Android emulated, that ones like Team Encoder, once they get their hands on it, will be able to work some magic with it, sideload a few extra games onto it, perhaps, depending on what it can do. Certainly, as was it Gunstar mentioned above, there's oh, sorry, it was Alan. Apologies for that. There's no reason why both Point Blank games shouldn't be on it. Absolutely, because the two games ran off the same hardware. So if you can get one running on it, you can absolutely get two running on it. And for God's sake, I have both Point Blank 1 and 2 arcade ROMs running on the Raspberry Pi. So it's dead simple to do. There's nothing wrong with the hardware on there. It could be done. They just didn't. But I think, ones like Team Encoder, when they get their hands on it, will be able to do certain things and maybe add a bit more bang for your buck. Or maybe you'll get ones like the Buy Stuff store will do a mod pack. That would be really nice to see as well, actually. The mod packs that they did for Ridge Racer and for Star Wars just add so many games. It's really good to see. I'm quite tempted to pick up the one for Star Wars, because they actually ship over here. So I'm happy that it's out. I'm glad we're not sitting around waiting for it anymore. And yes, it is a gorgeous looking cabinet. The emulation looks to be running really well. Light up coin door, the wee silver embossed Arcade 1-Up logo, the little step on it just above the pedal. The pedal is a wee bit small, I think, but I suppose if it's just you kind of know where it is. Yeah, everything's fine. But that price point really gives me pause. And I hope that when it comes out, they really see a stall in uptake in people buying it. That they'll only start to see people buying it when it comes down in price on a sale. Because if we keep buying these things at these ridiculous prices, they're testing the limits. They're testing to see where we draw the line. And for myself, I drew the line back with Marvel vs. Capcom. That was too expensive in my eyes. £600 for a cabinet is... Even that is a big ask. If it was the right cabinet, then yes, I would pick it up. I got Marvel vs. Capcom at a knockdown price. I've got Star Wars at a knockdown price. I haven't paid full price for one of the cabinets in a while, and it's simply because they're going far too high. Now, come Christmas or something like that, I might be tempted to pick up Big Blue if it drops in price. It's still sitting at $350. I would pick that up. That's a decent price for that, and it's Wi-Fi enabled. There's nothing on Big Blue that you couldn't get from the Yoga Flame or anything like that. I mean, although I think Yoga Flame's actually cheaper at the moment, isn't it? It's $299. I've shot myself in the foot with that one, haven't I? Ignore me. But those are the prices that we should be looking for, not this 750 bollocks. But yeah, like, I'm very happy. I'm very happy to push that to the side at the moment because I have my my Sinden as you can see there. So it arrived this week. So, and I've been toying around with it. It's a great little piece of kit. I'm happy that I can now sort of build a light gun-esque cabinet or experience around that, because I think it's going to be, it's something that I wanted within the the arcade. I definitely want all different kinds of arcade types. I've got my driving one. I've got my my fighters, and having a shooting cabinet was just something that I think I really wanted to add, and I have been toying around with it for a little bit. I've got various games running on it. Like I said, I've got Point Blank. Point Blank 2 is running really well. Point Blank 1, I'm having problems with the button configuration. House of the Dead, Virtual Cop, Time Crisis is working, but I need to reconfigure some of the buttons to be able to duck, because I don't have a pedal or anything like that. When I picked this up, it was always my initial thoughts were to use Batocera, because Batocera had included a kind of plug and play aspect to the Sinden on a release they did at the start of the year, or the year previous, and in a way it kind of is plug and play. It certainly activates all of the software and things like that for the Sinden, but there is a little bit of config that needs to be done in order to use it properly. I think this is definitely something that I wanted to do. I'm glad I pulled the trigger on it. Am I going to miss not being able to pick up something like Time Crisis? I don't think so. I think like I could. I do have Time Crisis working, but it's in a. It's on the PlayStation rather than Project Titan's on the Dreamcast. I'm happy with what I have, and I'm not paying, through the nose. I'm not paying 750 quid for the same sort of experience, if that makes sense. I think the way that I'm looking at it is like I can get a similar experience to this cabinet for a fraction of the price. And I know it's a little bit more difficult, and people will pay to take the path of least resistance, but I would say if anyone is looking at Time Crisis cabinet and thinking that it's way above their price range, have a little look at Sinden. Like I say, I'm running this. This is all being done on a Raspberry Pi, and I know the Raspberry Pi has gone up in price recently as well. They're not as cheap as when I was picking them up a year or so ago. But honestly, you can still build something like this for a fraction of the price. And if I want to include more powerful systems, I cannot always upgrade it to a mini PC or a PC build. And I know people are actually using Steam Links. You can hook the Sinden up into a Steam Link, and I don't know how much work is involved in getting that working, but certainly you could plug it into a PC and run Batocera or emulation station that way. So it's definitely something to consider if you want a really good light gun experience, but don't want to pay through the nose. Like the Sinden is probably your mid-range level of entry for light guns. You can get cheaper ones, like we've seen with the recent Pandora box, or you've got aim tech and things like that. Now they do run off IR sensors, whereas Sinden, which is the same technology that they're going to be using in the Time Crisis cabinet. If you can see the white border that I have along the game here, this is what it's looking at to detect where I'm meant to be shooting. So it's not using IR sensors, it's using this little white border. So there's all different ways of getting that light gun arcade experience without having to oh no, where are you? Get back here. I bet you still get the new cabinet when it's on sale. I cannot confirm or deny that. But certainly for now, I'm very happy with being able to play like multiple games. Like there's Alien 3 the gun. It's a fantastic game. I had a few games of that when I was testing out the plug and play aspect. That was actually one of the games that was completely plug and play. Once the gun was in, I was able to get straight into it, load it up and fire away. There was absolutely no issues with it whatsoever, which was fantastic. I do intend to do a few videos on the Sinden in the next couple of weeks, so hopefully they'll be of use to someone. Gunstar Hero, I love my Sinden. Yeah, they're absolutely fantastic. I was having a look at the arcade pedals. No fucking way. 200 quid for a pedal. I'm going to build my own. All I need is a micro switch and a fucking lever, for God's sake. I've got micro switches sitting back here from the arcade build from last year. I reckon I could put something together that will do the job. I just need to wire it into a USB, and then that's it. So I'll probably do something like that, but for now I'm happy enough just using the one of the buttons on the side to do it. But yeah. You can't tell me that sound doesn't it's. You can get the Sinden without the recoil. It is a fair bit cheaper if you get it without the recoil. But nah, I had to have the recoil. I couldn't have done it any other way. But I think that's everything that I wanted to cover tonight. I'm happy the Time Crisis is out. It's a gorgeous looking cabinet. I really just think they've fucked up with the pricing, and that really disappoints me. Like, I don't know whether John D's still there or whether he's gone. It's certainly sounding like the rumors are true that he has left the company, that he's headed somewhere else. Where he'll end up, I don't know. Like, wish him all the best and everything like that. But I do think that these guys are going a bit nuts with their pricing. I think that they need to take a look at who they're marketing these things to. The likes of Polycade that we talked about earlier, they sell their things for $5,000 a piece. and they're happy selling them because it seems to be celebrities that are picking them up and they can afford those things. Arcade 1-Up originally were marketing to retro arcade fans like us, but now they seem to be pricing people out. I like, if you went down, let's jump back to 2019, 2020. If you went into a shop and you saw, you know, the Mortal Kombat Legacy, 12 games, 300 quid or 350 quid, you'd pick it up, wouldn't you? I was like, oh wow, love Mortal Kombat, I'll pick that up. Now let's jump forward. You've never heard of Arcade 1-Up again, but you're walking through a store and you see Time Crisis and Point Blank for 750. You would look at it and go, fuck off! They're not going to attract new customers with that price point. I just think it's a missed opportunity for them, and sales will probably hurt them. How about New Wave Toys doing 3/4 cabs possibly? Yeah. Okay, I can cover this one real quick. I would love to see New Wave Toys do that. I think it's unlikely. The attention to detail that they put into their cabinets is off the charts. It's absolutely fantastic. What they've started doing with their Survivor Series line of cabinets is brilliant. The whole battle damaged kind of miniatures, the chipped paint, the flickering marquee, that is absolutely incredible. For them to make a switch from doing 3/4 from doing 1/6 scale to 3/4 scale, in order to do something like that, yes, they've already got the licenses and things along those lines, but the retooling that they would have to do for a manufacturing plant would cost a lot of money to get them up to speed. And again, with the attention to detail that they put into this, you would be talking, like, we're complaining about $750 for Time Crisis. If they were to do something like even like a simple one like Ghosts and Goblins, I reckon $900 to $1,000, or yeah, as you're saying, 1,500, 1,500 each. I think that would be, and I think it would look absolutely incredible, and it would play absolutely incredible. But in order for them to make it profitable for them, it is going to have to be an absolutely insane price point. So I don't get me wrong, I would love to see them do it, but I just don't think that many people would be able to afford it. I'm happy with my multi-kid. Converted a Arcade 1-Up Street Fighter 2 12 gig coin-op. Oh, lovely! You've got coin-op X, or would it be coin-op X, or is it just one of the other ones running up? Excuse me, still going up. I keep talking about converting the old Mortal Kombat machine. I kind of want to take that on as a project and convert it into a multi-kid, but I want a replacement for it first. So I would probably want to get. I kind of want to get the Mortal Kombat Deluxe, and that would replace the old Mortal Kombat, and then I would take out the guts in there and probably install a Pandora box into it and see what it does there, and then kind of reskin, put a light up marquee on it, that kind of thing. It's definitely something that's crossed my mind. there's a load of projects that I want to take on. If I can get a mini PC for the right price, then definitely I would be up for building a Polycade. But and again, this is things that we're talking about, things like this, like the DIY projects, because the price of the official cabinets that Arcade 1-Up are putting up is too high. So we go looking for the cheaper alternative. Can we make it ourselves? Can we buy in something? Quin-Ops and X. Oh, lovely. I've never had a look into that one. I do have Quin-Op X running on wherever the puck is for the Legends Gamer Pro. I imagine it's running it's kind of similar, just a bit more advanced. But yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to cover. Huh? 12 terabytes, not gig. Holy crap, have you got a RAID server in there? That's insane. That must be like every system under the sun running on there, from like from the NES running up to like the Xbox 360. That's nuts. Wow. Fair play to you. That's like an ultimate multicade. Very, very impressive. It's got lots. Yeah, that's an understatement. Oh man. Dear. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for joining me tonight. I hope you've got something out of this. The Time Crisis stuff, we'll leave it as it is. We'll see what happens when it comes over to the... It took some time to download. Yeah, I bloody bet it did. I think when I downloaded the image I have for my one, it's 128. It's 128 gig, and it took me a day to download it just because of the server was getting it off. Actually crawled along. Yes, I'll keep you updated when I see Time Crisis appearing in the UK. My estimate at this stage is about £850 to £900 that we're looking for when it first appears. Hopefully, if it does appear quite soon, we may see it in a Christmas sale, depending on the retailer that gets their hands on it. But yeah, we'll see where it is. Hopefully, in the next sort of week or so, I'll be able to get some videos out regarding the Sinden setup. If anyone is looking for a cheaper alternative to a light gun experience, then maybe that'll be something you could have a little look into. Certainly with Battlesera, it does make the process a fair bit easier. I might be able to run you through some bits and pieces just to show you how it's all set up and things like that, and maybe you'll be able to run on through there. So if you are disappointed with the price point of Time Crisis, all's not lost. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for joining me tonight, and I will see you again very soon. Bye bye for now.